Hey, thanks for stopping by again. Let's make our character equip a weapon. To do that, first thing I want to do is create an actual weapon for them to equip. So in the blueprints folder, I'll right click, create a new folder, call this one items. No, equipment. Equipment is better. Double click and open that. Right click, new folder again, swords. Folders will be your friend. Organization is key because you don't want everything in one folder and it's like scroll through a bunch of different variety of stuff. So we'll be making a lot of folders. Anyway, the swords, right click, gonna go up to blueprint class and create an actor. And I'm gonna call this one wooden sword because I know the one I want to use is a wooden sword. But you can call it whatever you want. You use whichever sword you want. There's a lot to pick from. But we'll double click, open that up. And in the add component, we're going to select, skeletal mesh right there from the drop down. Compile, just because I like to compile a lot. And in your content browser, in the Infinity Blade weapon pack, you can pick whichever one you want. But I'm going to go through here and find right here where you can search, there's a filter option. So when you have the sword selected, if you want to find all the skeletal meshes of a certain type, you can go through and click skeletal mesh and it'll pick everyone from every folder and show you all of them. That way you can find them a lot easier. But that's actually the one I want to use. So if you're following directly along, it's sword B, but you can pick whichever one you want. Really, whichever, doesn't matter. I'm going to use that one. So I'll go back into the blueprint, hit boom, so that, hey, look, my sword. Yeah, so far that's all we got to do, because we'll adjust its angle and all that once it's attached to the character. But for now, that's it, as far as that goes. Alright, now back in the blueprint, now disable the skeletal mesh. Back in the character components, in the anim BP, we will want to, bear with me, I'm doing this all kinds of out of order, but first thing we need to do is probably create the input function. So click edit up here, project settings, down under input, which is under this engine tab down right here. Click action mapping, don't need you. Hit add a new one, and we'll call this equip. And this will let you pick what button press you want to use. I'm going to use Z just because, I don't know, World of Warcraft I think was Z, so it's just always kind of stuck with me. But that's it. You don't have to compile this or save or nothing. So. And right click the character, open them up, and we'll right click in the event graph and type in equip. That way we can get our action event that we just set up. Hold B and left click for a branch, hook that up, and we will promote this to a variable and call it can equip question mark, because this is a good little gatekeeping thing for later on when she's got a bunch of other abilities. That way you know, can she equip? No, she's doing something else, that kind of thing. So if she can equip, we want to find out if she has equipped weapon. Has equipped. We'll drag that one out and get another branch, because on this one we're going to have something coming off the true and the false. Because if she has equipped, we'll want to put the weapon away, and if she hasn't, we'll want to pull it out. So one more boolean, we'll say equipping off the false, Oh, another little handy thing. If you hold Control and drag out a variable, it does an automatic get. If you hold Alt and drag out, it does an automatic set. So I'll probably still just do it this way, because you can just drag it out and then get or set that way. But just a little handy thing. But has equipped off of false, we'll set equipping true. We'll grab out our character movement component and we'll set walk speed to 0. With a, if you hold D on the keyboard and left click, it'll do a delay, because we only want them to be stopped during the actual animation. And then they can go back to walking. After the delay, we'll Control C to copy that, Control V to paste it, and disable that. We'll come back and adjust this variable based on how long the actual animation is. And you can get out of here. For now, that's it. Back in the NMBP, we will go to the event graph, box select this, Control C, Control V to paste. Up here off the sequence node, add a pin, grab the then2, click it up, drag down a little bit. Then off this we want to find out if our character is equipping. And drag off, promote to variable, type out equip. That's not how you spell weapon. Weapon. Boom. That way the animgraph will know to fire off the next animation sequence. We're going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit because we won't need to mess with this one anymore. So box select all of that one and press C on the keyboard and it'll do a comment box. And I'll just call this init just because that's my shorthand for initialize. This one is jumping. Box that one off and scoot it over. And box select C on the keyboard again. And this is whipping weapon. Weapon. Drag that one over. Compile so that it updates. Then off of our initialize function, drag off add state, equip weapon, double click to open that up, and over in your asset browser, come on down to withdrawing sword. Remember, you gotta grab that mixamo.com one, and we'll boom, hook that up just like that. Now if you double click to open this one, you can see the animation. Oh, that's, and then we can get the how long the actual animation is. But while we're in here, we want to line this up about when the character is pulling. About, I'm gonna do right here. So about here when they would be just about to, you know. I'm gonna set it to about there. Right click right on this notifies timeline, add a notify, new notify, and call it equip, because this is what will fire off our actual execution to pull the sword. So yeah, now back in the NMBP, we want to make sure that this is not looping. Get back and drag off one more time. Add state, call it melee ready. Off of that one, drag off one more time. We don't have the animation thing set up for that one just yet, but we'll call this sheath. 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 Sheath weapon. No, it's the E, I think. I don't know. That works. And we'll do this one more time just to complete that loop. And tidy it up a little bit. Now we wanted to switch to this one based on this little switch rule, which we'll double click to open. Scroll down here and get equip weapon. Hook that up just like that. Equip weapons in your variables thing, just like the direction of speed from the last one. Compile. You'll get these errors right now, but we're about to fix those. Equip weapon on this one, we're going to type in, we're going to right click in its event graph and type ratio, and we'll get time remaining. Not current time, but time remaining. And off of the return value, do a less than or equal to 0.01. Boom, and then when the animation is just about to finish, it will say, alright, switch over to the next one. And then it'll take you into that, you know, thing. That one that we haven't quite set up just yet. But it'll do its thing. Now, in our event graph one more time, we're going to call that animation notify, so anim notify equip. So right click in here, type in equip, grab it, pull out your player ref, and just set it right next to it for now. You'll still get that error, don't worry, we'll fix it in just a minute. Alright, so this is the base of our equip function, and underneath it we will right click, add custom event, call it equip weapon. And what we want to do with this one is first we have to create a variable for the weapon that we want it to equip, so we'll call this equipped weapon. And if you click on the red little pill looking thing, you can change it to a actor class reference. You want class reference, not object, because the object doesn't exist yet, but the class does. So compile that. You can set equipped weapon to the sword that we created. Compile that. And we will spawn actor from class. Hook the equipped weapon to it. This way we can change that out later so you can equip different weapons rather than always having the same one. Alright. And compile that. Yes, I know. Come back out. Go to the animation graph. Right here you will see skeleton, sorry. Over here on the skeleton tree, find right hand, about that far down. And we want to right click that and add socket. There it is. Add a socket. And we will call this not right hand socket. Rename that. Right click, rename socket, weapon socket. Because that's where weapon will go. We'll add a preview asset, which I believe was sword B. Yeah. And we'll just line it up. So we'll rotate it to about where it would be in their hand. Oh, to switch between different like the translate, rotate, or scale widgets, you can hit W for move, E to rotate, R for scale. Just W for the widget, and then E and R right after it for the other ones right after it. So we'll line it up right in their hand. About there is good. That's about right. Works for me right now. And back in the player BP. I know I jump around a lot, I'm sorry, but we'll drag off the mesh say get socket transform. In socket name, we'll change it to the weapon socket like we just made. Set that to there. Now, off of equipped weapon, we want to promote that to a variable and call it equipped weapon. Can't call it the same thing. Let's call it weapon equipped. Let's change that one to, if you click it and then delay and then click it again, you'll be able to change the name of it. Let's change that to current weapon. And then I'll change that one to equipped weapon. That makes more sense. So we'll set the equipped weapon to be the weapon that we just spawned in our character socket. Yeah. And then we will attach to actor. We want the actor to be our mesh. Attach to actor or attach to component. Just drag off, get attached to component, see which one works. Sometimes you gotta do that, because sometimes I forget. Alright, it's attached to component. So attach it to component. Double click on the strings and you can kind of reroute them. I don't like for them to get all jumbled all over each other. But the socket name, we will attach it to weapon socket. And for the location, rotation, and scale rule, I'll snap to target. Now compile and that error should be fixed. And I do believe that should be it. Oh, let's set that delay to 1.5 like it was. And now in our animation blueprint for that anim notify equip, we will pull off the player ref that we set next to it and do our call function equip weapon. So yes, there's still an error, but now when we go in, boom, hey, oh, well, that was weird. That's right, my bad, Cletus. We gotta set up that. We gotta set up this one, or else they're just gonna T-pose around. You know what, just to show you that it'll work, let's just set it up right now for sword and shield idle. So sword and shield idle right there. Boom. Hook that up real quick, just so you can see. Boom! Got my weapon. Yeah. Nothing happens on the other side of it though, so let's back in the player blueprint. We'll copy, Control C, paste, Control V. Drag this over to the target node. OCD a little bit, so I'm going to just kind of clean that up. If you box select things and then hit Q on the keyboard, it'll straighten those lines out. So we will set this to 450 for base movement speed. Oh, which actually we need to fix. So in the character movement component, under the details panel, scroll down to walking, max walk speed, instead of 600, 450, because it just works better with the animations involved. If you can't find it, just type up here max walk and then it'll be right there. This is for crouched, this is for just regular. So if you can't find anything we're messing with in one of these panels like that, just type in the thing, you'll be able to find it. So, and then if they have equipped, then we want to be able to put the weapon away, so we'll say sheath. I don't know how to spell sheath. We're going to go with that. I don't care. Change it to a boolean. set it. We'll Control C both of these. Drag that up so that it's adjusting that right. Click that, Control C, Control V, boom, there you go. And then we'll just do that instead of having to bring another one up. So we'll have to adjust this delay though. So let's find out how long that delay is. So for melee ready, we're going to, off of the rule for the transition from melee ready to sheath weapon, we'll want to go back into our event graph, boom, Control C, Control V, add a pin, drag it down, drag off, get sheath weapon, promote that off to a variable called sheathing. Oh, it sounds like Sean Connery trying to say teething. She's sheathing. Well, she's mad. She's seething with anger. Anyway, sorry. Over here, we'll set the rule from the variable into our melee ready to sheathing. Set it to that, yeah. Under the sheath weapon, grab the sheathing sword right there near the top. Drag it off, hook it up, make sure it also is not looping. Double click to open. It's a weird angle. And the same thing as the other one, we'll want to find out just when she's putting the sword away. Boom, right there. Right click, add a notify, and call this sheath weapon. And it is 1.667. So we will set this to 1.667. Boom. And then the same thing with this. We will drop down and do another custom event called sheath weapon. Oh, okay, that one's can't use the Boolean name. Let's do sheath. Let's just call it sheath. Alright. And we're going to get the equipped weapon and just destroy actor for now. Eventually we'll go through the process of attaching it to the hip, but for now we'll just destroy it just so it works. Alright, and we got one more rule we need to fix. So under sheath weapon to initialize, we'll right click, type in ratio again, time remaining, drag off, do a less than or equal to 0.01, just like last time. That way we know at the very end of the animation it transfers. And that's all our rules set up. So now this whole circle will work. And oh, in our event graph, right here, just like the animation notify equip, we need to do animation notify sheath weapon. And then we'll drag this off from the player ref and do sheath. And that should be good to go. Boom, got my weapon out. And it did nothing. So I pushed the button, why didn't it do its thing? Oh, because I'm silly goose. Let's just drag that off. Box like that, drag that out. I forgot to set the has equipped. We have to set that to positive, otherwise it thinks it still ain't done nothing. So Control C, Control V, drag that over to there and set that to not equipped. Boom. Now it should swap on the branch. Oh, when you're doing this, when you set that first can equip, you want to default that one to yes. So give it a check. As equipped, you want to default to no. But now, when we go in, hit the equip weapon, there we go. Hit put it away, there we go. And then you can run around again and jump. We'll go through and make it to where you can't do this. That's what that can equip is for. So that you're not jumping and equipping weapons or nothing. Or the animations make sense, but there you go. The reason we set it up as a class is also so that we can do this. I'll do this as the last thing for this video. If I duplicate this out and say iron sword, and I go into that one and set the skeletal mesh. You don't have to follow along with this one, I'm just showing you real quick why I did it the way I did it. Right, that one. And the player BP, I set the current weapon to iron sword. Then, boom, now she's equipping a different weapon. So, yay! Now you'll be able to set different weapons, different variables that'll affect her stats, that kind of stuff. So that's the probably convoluted way I do it, but it works, and you can have interchangeable weapons. So I guess that's it for this one. In the next one we'll set up the actual combat movement modes. I'm trying to keep these videos shorter than 25 minutes. But yeah, check back for the next one. Later.